So to speak, it's going to be very conversational. So we're going to be talking about how we can adjust our vision to our present day reality. So ladies, where I'm going to begin is this: to you individually, what is vision to you individually?
I guess since I'm first, I'll go first. Vision to me is basically my goals, my ideals, my plans, so to speak, in terms of this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be in a certain specific number of years, in a specific number of months, in whatever time frame I give myself. The things I intend to achieve as long as I'm on the face of the earth. Also, basically, just how you want things to be in your life. That's really how I see vision, if you ask me. Kelly.
I see vision as basically knowing where you're going, knowing how you're going to get there, and being able to deal with any challenges that might come along the way, because life is full of challenges, so challenges will come. So basically where you're going, how you're going to get there, how you're going to deal with any problem it is that you have along the way.
When I think vision, I usually just think of it as a desired reality. So it's a reality that I'm looking at achieving, and it's different from my current reality. And sometimes it's not so clear how I'm going to get there. I just know that's the desired reality. That's the reality that I want for myself. And I just do whatever it takes to get there.
Thank you. To me, vision is my ability to see where I want to be. Like being able to map out a full spectrum of beyond my present eventualities and towards the future that I see. The ability for me to bridge my present reality to the future that I desire.
Alright, girl. Put ladies over because Raquel, we've known you for a while in the music industry. Uwanma, I just recently met you, like yesterday. I know, right? But I would like to know, based off of your different definition of what vision is to you, 5 years ago, would you see there is a huge difference between 5 years ago and you right now, based off of your vision?
Yes. A very huge difference. 5 years ago was when? It was 2015.
Yes.
Okay, I wouldn't say like 5 years, I'd say like more like 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago. Okay, so I put out my debut album in 2009. I started doing music around 2002, 2003, and all I wanted to be was an artist. I just knew I wanted to make music and jump on stages. I didn't know or even think that I could do anything else. If you had told me that today I would be sitting up here speaking to people, I'd be like, speaking to them about what? About how to rap? So I had a clear-cut vision of just rapping and being an entertainer, and that's all I wanted to do. But life happened, and I decided to start to branch out into other things that I could do. I started with cooking. I used to cook for my friends, and somebody said, why don't you start to cook for others, make it a professional thing? I started to look into that. Another person came and said, oh, maybe you need like a 9 to 5 because you know how music is. I said, okay, I would like to work on radio. I went somewhere and they gave me a form for TV. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted. They said, just finish, you'll be alright. And that's how I delved into being a presenter on TV and being a producer and being a content creator. After that, I was like, okay, maybe I want to try my hand at radio. That's how I found myself at Lagos Talk. So I've gone so far from what it was that I wanted to do and wanted to be. But then I realized that at the end of the day, the vision is still in line with who I am as a person. Because I had to relearn and rediscover who I was and what I wanted out of life. So I just think that, music might have just been like an introduction to help me realize my full potential.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So, ladies, aside from Kel, because with her, her being on Lagos Software House is not necessarily what she envisioned from the beginning. So would you say for you guys that you just happen to bump into where you are right now? Did you always have a plan from that vision 5 years ago? Did you always have a plan to, okay, 5 years later, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on Lagos Software, I'm going to make electrics. Was it just you bumping into it, or did you have a plan? Yes.
Okay, 5 years ago, which is almost around the same time, 5 years ago, with regards to the time frame, I was in my house, I had cried myself out. I had just had a major blowout with a business partner because my original business was not Ayana Hospitality. It was actually called Ayana Services, and I had an equity partner in the business. And I had just had a major falling out because after reviewing how far we had come with the original business, I realized that we're nowhere near what we wanted to achieve, well, what I wanted to achieve. And the mistake I kept on making was thinking that my business partner was aligned in the same fashion as I was. That was the mistake I kept on making. But he had other ideas, in fairness to him. And so I realized that it just wasn't where I wanted to be. I was making the money, but I wasn't seeing the money. Because it was just so funny because I would go out to look for the business and I'd still have to come back to the office and still split the profit 50-50 with someone who has not lifted a finger. You know, and we went on and on. So I had cried myself out, I had called him. If you know me, I can be quite feisty. So we had like a screaming fest. I had screamed and shouted and all of that. I said, you know what, I need you out of my business. And, you know, it was really, really bad. So I had to take a back seat, take a breather. Where do I start from? And you see, as Mrs. Martin said, the God factor is also very important. And I must always emphasize that in my life, in whatever I do, because I think at that point when I was at my lowest, God sent people, certain people, into my life at that point. Deji happens to be one of them. Deji's been my friend forever. He's the GM for Mega Electrics. And basically, Deji started with regards to, look, it's not the end of the world. You had all the aces anyway. You might as well just get up, dust, you know, your shoes, and get going. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to achieve in this industry. So what's holding you back? So I get up, I call a friend of mine, Moses Prince as well. And Moses is like, oh, you know, we'll register another company, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the next thing is like, I start getting calls again, people start calling, oh, I need you to do this, I need you to. And you know the irony of it all is, I remember when I started reintroducing the new business to people, and I'd have like existing clients tell me, oh, was that your business partner? I thought he worked for you. Yes, that was how it was, you know. So 5 years ago, I was nowhere near here. I'm still growing. I'm still a work in progress. But trust me, things are so much different. Things are so much better. And also, I think, you know, in terms of even the way I respond to issues, the way I respond to things has changed drastically. So, no, 5 years ago, no. 5 years now, yes.
All right, then, before you go on, Uwanma, now that you've come to this point of success, I should say, and success is on different levels, right? You've learned. So would you say that you now have a formula to achieving your dream or your goal? Is there a particular formula?
To be very honest, there's really no set formula.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're winging it, you know, basically. Sometimes, yeah, there's that vision, there's that clarity, and then an external force basically shows you off. But I think what I have is, I'm very, what's the word now? I'm very resilient. I don't give up easily. And I think that's what's pushed me this far as well. I stick to it, I push. It's not working this way, I'm going another route. It's not working that way, I'm going another route. And then also, another thing I also do a lot is, I seek people who have more wisdom than I do have. And I do a lot of reading. People ask me, how come you know so much about so many things? I'm like, I just read. I'm not that smart. I'm no different from the next person. But at the end of the day, I read a lot.
a third with us about that.
Alright, Uwanma, would you like to say anything about this one?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that. Is it still working?
Yeah, okay, much better. Okay, so I just wanted to add that 5, 7 years ago, I didn't really have a clear vision. I just knew I wanted to change career, I wanted to switch careers. So I moved from wearing suits and formal dresses as someone who had a senior role in a lot of corporate organizations. And I decided that I would switch from that to media and entertainment. Wasn't even clear what kind of media and entertainment. Will I be in a movie? Maybe. Will I sing a song I can't sing, but maybe? Will I be on TV and radio? Maybe. I just knew I wanted to just go into entertainment. And then I quit my job. Everybody thought I was crazy. I still think I'm crazy, but and then there was no plan. Like Ayana said, I was just winging it. So as soon as I resigned, my boss was like, "What are you going to do?" I'm going to audition. Audition for what? I don't know. It's a terrible way to go about achieving your vision. It's a terrible way. All I just knew what to do was make sure you have a lot of money in the bank. I would just knew that, look, it won't happen overnight. So chances are you won't have a job for a long time. So have money in the bank. I did that. And then I was hopping all over the place. Fortunately, I'm as resilient as Ayana said. So you go one place, they say it's not working here, okay, how can I find another way? So eventually I started by putting my own money, investing in myself. My first radio show, I bought the airtime before sponsors came. Other content that came up, I started them before other people pumped money into it. And here I am today. Now I had a clearer idea of where I'm going. Not completely clear. I just am going to be a success at whatever it is.
Unlike Ayana did, although
You had a plan.
I had a plan. Okay, mine is a bit different because I've always been a career person. So I started early in administration before I had the opportunity to become an HR analyst. And mine was not 5 years actually, so it was 7 years. And I decided that I was going to be deliberate about the next decisions I make, because they were going to be sacrosanct to every other steps that I would take. I also worked on 2 things, the what and the who. So I was more deliberate about like I mentioned, the decisions, but the most important part for me was the who. So I started cutting off some people in my life, and I started bringing more people on board that were in line with where I was going to. So I had an idea of where I was going to. Another thing changed for me. I stopped working for money. I made sure I was building a career and I was building a relationship. That really helped me. That really changed my perspective a lot. And there was one word in the Bible that kept me. In Proverbs, I'm so sorry if you're not a Christian, but I believe we all believe one thing or the other. Proverbs 29 verse 16 says, when there is no vision, people have no restraint. But happy is he who keeps the law. Now, when we talk about restraints, it could be boundaries, it could be discipline that you need to bring on board. But the second part of that verse actually helped me more. Happy is he who keeps the law. This has nothing to do with the law of Moses. Might be partly, but most important, my understanding of that place was, if I'm able to bring discipline on board, not just doing anyhow, not just bumping into things. People bump into things and it was fine, but I knew my decision had to be deliberate. I knew how to make appropriate decision at every stage. that I go through, and that helped me a lot. It changed my perspective about things, and then obstacles would surely come, but they actually formed my character. And the most important thing was that when I was going through this process, I checked my heart. My heart was in the right place, and that was the problem.
So one thing I learned over time and also listening to the ladies just now is that life is fluid. It's not concrete. It doesn't go in one straight highway. You know, there's turns and obstacles that you have to find your way through or around, over or under. But the point is keep moving, okay? And then have a vision of sorts. As you go, sometimes it gets clearer as you proceed. And then based off of what Vanessa, where's Vanessa? Right, asked earlier about, you know, the whispers, the people who would say things, people who would try to dissuade you, they'll tell you things like, oh, it's not going to work, or it's not going to work like that, why don't you do it like this? Sometimes you need to tune people out, you know, so that your own voice can be louder and be the loudest in your head. Because if there are so many voices pulling your attention away from your destination, at the end of the day, it will take you longer to get there. You go through more pain, and then if you listen to them and it doesn't work out, you need to hit them for it and hit yourself for listening. So that's just something that just came into my mind.
Very well said, very well said. And I do believe if you have a vision and you're very true to that vision, I feel that in as much as you get the voices around you, because you have a destination ahead, that pull just keeps pulling you towards that destination. So you should have a vision. And yeah, let's move on. You brought up your faith, of course, and Uwanma, the Bible is
What she said, we all believe in something. I'm like, yeah, we do.
If you listen to the dish, then you understand what Uwanma was trying to say. But anyways, you know, in this day and age, we are very religious or spiritual, I should say. And you get sometimes maybe sermons that make you believe this is who you are, but you might not see at the moment. And you begin to make declarations like, what? You know, I am beautiful. Or, you know, I am the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. What are your thoughts about faking or faithing it till you make it? As regards that vision that you have of yourself, it's probably not here at the moment, but you feel it so deep in your heart that you want to begin to live in line with that vision. So what are your thoughts about that? People deciding that, you know what, because I have that vision, it means that God has placed it within me, and I better start acting in line with that. To some people that might be faking it, or faithing it to make it.
One thing I've realized in this entrepreneurial journey, and basically, you know, being an adult, so to speak, is my faith in God. And it's pulled me out of the deepest pits. It's set me in places where I never thought I would even be at. And for me, I'm Catholic actually, so it's all about you know, adoring the Blessed Virgin Mary. It's about what Jesus, you know, is capable of doing. And you know, sometimes you're at Mass and the priest happens to say something, probably something that you've been toying around with in your head. It's happened to me not once, not twice, not 3 times. It happens quite often. And it's almost like, as they would say, a word in season. It comes to me, and sometimes, I mean, I've been going in a totally different direction. And then I start to inculcate certain parts of whatever it is within the book, the holy book, so to speak. But I also believe, like, there's a higher power that guides us definitely with regards to this faith thing. There's definitely something, well, if you believe in God or you don't believe in God, you know, but there's a power. And once you can align yourself, that alignment is what is very important. If you don't align yourself with that thing, and aligning is, how should I put it? I'd rather say, I'll faith it till I get there. You know, and the Bible, if you actually, I don't know about the Quran, but the Bible basically, they're markers as to how to do things, to be able to achieve certain things in the Bible. I'm not very good with the scriptures, but I'm just saying that basically from what I read, they're usually markers. You know, how these are the things you should do if you want to achieve something. These are the things, and it may seem so simple, but when you sit down and you study the word, they are guide markers. They will guide you through. That is, in my own opinion, in my own experience. I don't know about others, but the Bible has played a very significant part. God has played a very significant role. There was a time I never used to go to church. There was a time I never used to pray. But you know what? I can't do anything now without even just saying a word of prayer. And prayer is not about having to kneel down and having to, you know, clasp your hands together. Sometimes you can actually be driving and just say, God, this is what is on ground. Just see me through. Let me know, is it meant for me or it's not meant for me? That's how I do it. It's weird now. Sometimes I catch myself actually talking and thinking, I hope I'm not going to think I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself, but I'm actually whispering a prayer to myself. So, you know, for me, like I said, God has played a very significant role in a whole lot of things in my life, and I'm faithing it all the way.
I love that. So let's just quickly move on to other things just still in line with that.
What if I want to say something?
Let me say something. Yeah, okay. It's okay.
I'm going to keep it very brief. I don't totally believe in faking or faking it till you make it. And here is why. I'm a big church though. I don't know anything about God. But the problem is some people misinterpret that to forget that you have to do all the work and they just keep praying. Even the Bible says faith is dead without works. So you need to work. I think your primary purpose should be work and back it up with prayer. But some people pray and then back it up with small work. And it doesn't make any sense to me. That's my take.
Just to say something to what Ayana had said earlier. I've never found it commonsensical to actually fake till you make it. Never. Because, like Kel said, faith without work is dead. And that's the truth. I'm going to give you a short story that my pastor shared with us sometime in my church. He talked about, I think, maybe those early days when he saw a particular Mercedes-Benz and he had always said, this is mine, he walked through it and said, I received it, it's mine, whatever the name is for it, I claim it, it's mine, and all that. He said, consistent, and at that moment, his reality was the fact that he was 700 naira, one terrible amount then. And this Benz at that time would have gone for as high as maybe 100,000, 200,000 or something. It was in those days. And he said, he kept saying that I achieved it, it's mine, I received it. And every day he sees that Benz there. Every other cars move out of that park, but just that Benz was there. He said one day he passed through that place and he didn't see the Benz. And he was like, why change it? It was mine. To him, it was something that made him feel, oh, this faith thing, I need to question it or something. But the truth is, a lot of people these days actually now live in virtual reality. And it's terrible. Because virtual reality is just a make believe. If you are not attaching work to it, you are just on the stroke. And that's the truth. If you can't do if you can't do the walk through the process that will get you to that future, then you are only deceiving yourself. So that's it.
From different and horror about that. Okay, why are you laughing? Yeah, you have a really sorry. Okay, so someone needs a pacifier. Okay, so she said it's nonsensical faking it. Sometimes I disagree. Because the truth is that sometimes you need to look the part to get the part. And the reality of today, especially our Nigeria as it is that people You get more when you look like you have more. That's the truth. You go to the pitch, say you're looking for a job, and you want the job of a manager, and you go dressed a certain way, and you're speaking a certain way, you're not speaking the part, and you're not dressed the part, you will not get the job. So I feel like you have to do it with some sense. You have to back up your flash with some substance. So yes, it's not okay to just fake it, I'm living this life or I'm successful when you're not really successful. You might look the part or put in the work, but it's okay to look the part, in my opinion. Sometimes fake it and you do it.
Okay, I think it might be back and forth because people might disagree, but at the end of the day, I believe you have to know where to draw the line. Yeah. So like they say, dress how you want to be addressed, but don't dress to deceive people. You'll catch you.
And don't lie on your seat.
Don't lie, actually. So they won't catch you.
You can phrase the truth.
You see, now you know what I mean?
Don't lie.
Semantics. Give me an example.
So you're a cook, okay? And you cook rice, beans, maybe make some coleslaw. You are an international and indigenous chef. You can make coleslaw, you can make salad, that's intercontinental.
Guys, I'm going to cut Uwanma off there. I will not hire you as a chef or if you come with your CV all embellished, telling me that you can do intercontinental stuff. And what you can actually do is cook this. Oh my god, there's so much that goes into it. So yeah, like Ify said, it's important to draw a balance. Please don't go and pretend to be what you're not. Your employers are not foolish people. They will sniff you out. And especially if it's a sector that's pretty technical, you will be sniffed out at no time. And then how does that make you look?
Yeah, to add to that, like I said to Uwanma, I had a very, very dissenting view about what she just said. Like Ayana said, if it's a technical role, you will be sniffed out. Because your competence will speak. You can't keep fooling people about your competence. It's not possible. You can't fool people about your competence because at some point in time, it might not even go far with someone like me. It won't go far because I'm going to get it. I'm going to see through you. It's just predictive. I'm going to see through you that you are not there. You only just embellish your CV to look like you can achieve this, whereas you are not going anywhere. And the truth is, why go through that process? It's not a good learning process, actually. If you have somewhere you want to be, or you have a future you look forward to, I'm sure there are people who have gone through that path before you. Okay. There is no harm in walking up to them to say, can you mentor me in this line? I want to do this. Can you just walk me through? And in the process of you learning, you can execute.
Okay.
Just to buttress what he said, sorry. Just to buttress what he said in regards to...
Uwanma. Yeah? You have to. I
No, just to buttress what you said. I have it's a very short story.
Yeah.
I had someone years ago, and he came and we were looking for cleaners. We used to engage a cleaning firm, but we had so many issues with them. So we basically had to say, you know what, let's engage our own cleaners, we make uniforms for them, and we pay them directly. So this particular young boy, Ibrahim, came for the interview, and we were like, okay, so he's already getting cleaned up. But that's, he said it to me, he said, but I want to be a bartender. He said, but I will start from here. And you know, I thought that was, well, okay, wow, okay, you got like some real serious, you know, whatever. Okay, come work. And then there happened to be a particular day, we had an event. It was an Afrifachi. They were doing the very first press conference at ours. And for some reason, two of the bartenders did not turn up. And we had like people
in the room that were waiting to be served. So I'm like, okay, I go behind the bar because I had to teach myself all these things as well, while pursuing this vision as well, because I can bartend as well, you know. So I get behind the bar, I wash my hands, and I start to get everything together. Ibrahim comes up to me and goes, Madam, I want to do some as well. So I'm like, okay, let's see what you can do. And this was like maybe about after 4 months of being with us. The next thing I see Ibrahim chopping up lemon, you know, doing all the leaves for the mint leaves for the mojito, and I'm like, okay. And it was amazing. And of course, we bumped him up that same day to being a bartender. So yeah, just to purchase what she said.
It was actually related to what I would have said, you know, because he came, he presented himself a certain way, he also mentioned what he would like
Yeah,
to
he
do.
said so. He said,
Now,
I want to be a bartender.
So now, sometimes people don't say it verbally.
Yes.
They say it with how they are faking it. That's what
Yes,
I
well,
say.
you saying that maybe they ask you a question like, can you do so and so?
Yeah.
But because it's an opportunity that you don't want to miss, you say yes because you want to learn how to do it.
You don't outrightly lie.
What do you do?
You have the skill, you have the passion, you have the talent, but you haven't just done it as often as you like to become a professional at it. I have been at interviews where people portray themselves a certain way. I mean, being a professional in HR, you can almost tell who they have the passion, they just haven't done it enough to be professional at it. But you give them a chance and see what they've got. If you look at a lot of the brand ambassadors and all that who are pushing themselves out there, some of them got those contracts because they faked it, they looked the part. And then when they get the job, they work to deliver.
Alright, that would be another session. You know, a lot of times when you have such big dreams and a huge vision and you're so excited that you want to share it with someone, you might share it with the right person, you might share it with the wrong person, but you share it anyways. And when you share it, you hear things like be realistic, which can be very damaging to your soul and to your spirit. So what would you say about dreaming but still being realistic? Is there any such thing as being realistic if you are saying to someone you can dream as wide and as big as you could possibly imagine?
I think anything is achievable if you set your mind to it. If you ask me, anything is achievable. You've got the dreams. A dream is like a guide, so to speak, when you dream. Or I envisage to have one of the most, fine dining restaurants, I'm just saying hypothetically, in West Africa. I can start from Lagos and extend it to the entire Nigeria. And then we move on to the West Africa that was the original goal. Anything is possible if you really set your mind to it. And I always tell people that you also have to be careful because sometimes in our pursuit of these dreams, especially when people have told you that it is not realistic or it's not achievable, sometimes you can bend the rules a bit. It's never ideal to bend the rules, trust me. I've done it a few times and I've suffered for it. Never ever bend the rules. Just follow that path. If it's 5 years you gave yourself and it's going to take you 10 years to get there, it will be better to go through that 10-year process and be at peace with yourself than go through that 5-year process and get into a whole lot of trouble, or you're not at peace with yourself. At the end of the day, like I said, anything is achievable. Anything is. People sometimes tell you it's not realistic from their own point of vision, and don't forget that people can't see your vision. You're the only person that knows really what it is at the end of the day that you're trying to achieve. You might paint a picture, and I've had my family members tell me that you better sit down in banking and not go anywhere. What you want to go to do? What is hospitality in Nigeria? You're not in Switzerland. You're not in the UK. What you want to do in Nigeria? But you see, what I realized is, before I used to get very upset when they would say things like that to me, but I then suddenly realized that they are speaking from where they have knowledge from. They don't know any better. They've never tried to do it before. All they see though in banking, and then went into investment banking, managing all these heavy portfolios. That's all they can see. But they've never been within the sector. So even that's another thing I wanted to add earlier on, that when people
tell you it's not doable, it's not achievable, don't hate them for it. A lot of times, it's not from a place of hate. Trust me, especially when there are people that are really close to you. It's not from a place of hate. It's actually because they can't see that vision and they don't understand. Some will jump onto the bandwagon when they see that you're realizing that path you set for yourself, and they will come and say, oh, I actually made a mistake, but others won't do that. But don't hate them, you know. Focus on what you have to do. Everything is realistic. Anything is achievable.
Would you like to say something?
I actually believe that I'm on both sides of this statement. I believe that some things are not realistic. I believe that everything is realistic. I think at the end of the day, it lies with you, the individual, to know what it is that you can actually do. It's great to have big dreams, but do you as an individual have the capacity to achieve those particular dreams that you want? You can get up today and say, oh, I want to be the best singer ever. But you deep within your heart, you know that you don't have a singing voice. You can't sing. You have no knowledge or passion for music. But because you think it's flashy. And becoming an artist is not even just about putting out the music. It's about a whole lot more. So you don't want to be because you think it's flashy and it's nice. So yes, I want to give this no. Did you just use me vanilla as an example? When I was younger, I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a supermodel, you know, walk the runway. Not even my height. Then I realized how much I love food. And I knew that was not going to work out for me. Because I used to be very skinny when I was younger, but when I discovered the joys of food, I was like, nah, this is not going to work. I'm not going to starve myself for anything or anybody. Now, in some cases, when you tell like maybe your close family or your friends your dreams, and some of them might be in support, some of them might caution against it, I would advise that you filter whatever criticism or advice or whatever it is that you're getting from them. Because in some cases, some people might have tried what you want to do, or because they know you, they know it's not going to work. So I guess it also depends on how they come at you with that information. If they say, okay, you know, I love you, I support you. I don't really understand this thing, but I will stand by you and advise you. Yes, that's a nice way. If they come out right there and say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, ask them why. Figure out why it is that they're saying this. Now, if their reasons don't really make sense to you, you can still go ahead and do it. But if you listen to them and they sound logical and practical, now look deep within you and see if you actually really agree with what they're saying, or you just want to rebel and be like, you know, I don't care, you might be saying the truth, but I want to do this. So it's actually very sketchy. But I would say the first and most important thing is to know yourself and know what you're capable of.
Alright, so we're going to wrap up that particular question, but I would also say that I think another area where people might say you're being unrealistic is with timing. Like Ayana said, anything is achievable. If you can think about it, it means that it's very achievable. You can bring it to life. But it's with timing. A lot of times people put a lot of pressure on themselves, saying this is big picture, which they're supposed to be taking in doses. And these doses could be over 5 years or 3 years, but you want to fit it within the 2020 span, which could be unrealistic. And I believe that's just the area. But
The best analogy for that is weight loss. I mean, I perpetually try to lose weight. And then sometimes you tell yourself I'm going to drop 20 kg in 3 weeks.
there you go.
You know, we know that's not even healthy. So we need to be realistic.
Anyways, guys, we're wrapping up this session, but before saying goodbye to this, I thought it was baby clapping. So, what would you, sorry, and I would like for you to answer this particular question that I want to ask. What would you say to people who are wondering how they can manage their dreams and their vision, especially in a country that seems to be going at a slower pace than they are? You know, there are people that are buzzing with so much ideas and they believe, you know what, this is what I could do, this is where I could be at so point, maybe 2 years' time, looking at their career. But they're in a country that seems to be stifling their growth and just going at a slower pace than they are.
Okay, my response to that is very simple. A lot of times, actually, you can't choose where you're born. You can only make choices after
Um, whatever obstacles you're going to encounter or you're encountering in Nigeria, someone's encountered them before and someone surpassed them. So all you need to do is find people who are in the same lane as you are, who are heading in the same direction, who have achieved the things that you're looking to achieve, and who encounter these obstacles. Electricity, bad roads, traffic, artisans who would disappoint you, customers who would lie. Everyone's experienced them, you know. So just find people who have experienced these and find out how they did it. It's as simple as that. Use someone's real life experience and then modify it and tweak it to fit your own situation. And you're good to go.
Yeah, everything they said, or you can just leave. Not going anywhere. Okay, I'm joking. I would say, you know, in addition to everything that they said, adaptability. Sometimes you might want to do things in a certain way, and the country you're in is just being difficult. I think you could find some other way to tweak your vision, you know, in such a way that you're not straying too far from your end goals. Just kind of adapt to the situation for that moment in time. So while you're adapting to that, you're still working on your bigger plans.
And I would also say something, and I feel like adapting, you have to be wise. Because adaptability is not the same as settling for mediocrity. And it's very easy for you to settle for mediocrity in Nigeria. It makes you extremely comfortable. You don't need to do as much as you would have done if you happen to be more competitive platform. So yes, you might need to adapt at a certain point, but adapt so that you can surmount it to then be all that you could possibly be in that area.
To add to what Kel said, another thing that is important is in the whole situation of Nigeria, one good thing about the situation of Nigeria is it actually brings out the creative ingenuity in you. It brings out the creative ingenuity in you, and if you can just continue with that thing, it will really, really help you. Because if an obstacle comes your way and you can surmount that obstacle to bring out the best, it builds you, it changes your character, it changes a whole lot of things about you as well. It builds you as a person, it builds your process, and it builds everything around you.
Alright, Ayana, would you like to next
Also, because trust me, it's not easy working in this environment, especially if you're coming from somewhere totally different. But consistency is very key. You have to be consistent. There are days where you wake up and say, you know what, I'm not doing it. Once you get past that feeling, go back onto the horse and keep riding. Consistency is very key. And the truth is, I see so many bright minds. I meet so many amazing people every day, from artisans to big CEOs. And the thing is, it's that there's that Nigerian spirit in us. I see it in the lowest class, in that there's that Nigerian spirit. And I think it's something we really should, hinge on to with regards to how to push this country out of the doldrums. And the truth is, we're the ones to make that difference, so nobody's going to help us.
Alright, can we use the ladies around the floor? Sorry, so it's time for the Q&A. I'm sure you have a bunch of questions you'd like to ask. So, who has questions? Over there. Alright, someone help me out with this.
Okay, my name is Chris. My question is this. What if you have a vision that you believe is your life's purpose, and you've tried everything, and you've been innovative, you've been persistent, and it's been going for a long time, and it doesn't seem like it's coming, it doesn't seem like it will materialize. When is the right time, or when do you decide to move on?
Very good.
Okay, I remember when Mrs. Martin was speaking here, she gave a demonstration here with those girls blindfolded, when there was someone who could see. So there is always a God behind that vision. A lot of times we assume the vision was ours, like we created it. No. If there is a vision, if there is a dream, it's brought in your heart by God. So most importantly for you is to go back to the source and ask questions. The Bible talks about Jacob when Rebecca was pregnant. Was it Jacob or Isaac? When his wife was pregnant and there was trouble, he had to go and pray. So most importantly, always go back to the source of that vision. Your question says, when you think, no, you don't think it. It's actually something that is dropped in your heart and you follow through with it. So you don't just make assumptions that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, whereas you're supposed to be doing something else. Because when you're doing what you're not sent to do, you get frustrated. So pay attention to going back to where the vision is.
I'd also like to add something to that. A lot of times, or sometimes I should say, when we're giving a vision, it's not always a vision for us to bring to fruition. It could be a vision for us to lay the foundation which other people will bring to fruition. There's some times where you feel like you ought to have been the musician that is taking Beyonce's place at the moment. You might feel you're supposed to be the greatest sports person ever. But maybe not. Maybe you are here to coach the greatest sports person. Maybe your process of developing yourself in sports may not necessarily have been for you to be that person. So yes, if God placed it inside your heart, it means that definitely there is a role that you ought to play in bringing it to fruition. But it may not necessarily always turn out the way you always pictured it to be. It doesn't mean that God did not give you that vision. And vision is progressive from seniors.
I think it was Kel that said something about, was it Kel? Okay, my point is for anyone who's not a Christian or a believer and all that, who believes that, they decide, okay, I'm done, I'm going to move on to the next vision. If it's really your vision, you'll find a way. Even if it means, we said vision is fluid. It might not be, like, if you just said, it might not be that you're going to be the greatest footballer. It could be that you'll be the greatest coach or the greatest footballer. But there will be a way to feed that fire that's burning inside you. You just need to find it. So sit down, write it down, pour your thoughts into it, find a mentor who will guide you, read. There's so many things you can do to find a way to that vision, even if it's a roundabout way.
Any other question? Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adenike. I have a question. Like, it's always been my dream to be an online personality, and I can say it's a really tough process because I told someone one time that I wanted to be the greatest online personality on earth, and she literally laughed in my face. But I still kept that to me. But I want to ask her, what if, okay, I have that vision, but I have another vision that is maybe different from being an online personality, or maybe, okay, I want to be an online personality, but I also don't want to be a blogger, or I want to be a writer. What would you say to that? Maybe I have more than one vision, like maybe more than one vision. What would you say to that?
Okay. Before, can I say something before that? I might have been in a position where I had several things that I wanted to do. But if you take a look at it in depth, you see that it's under one umbrella. Okay? That's a creative space for you. Broadcasting, blogging, maybe fashion and design. Creative umbrella. I realized that these things come in different periods of my life. Right? For instance, I'm interested in fashion. I believe that's one major aspect of my life. And I'm also interested in broadcasting. But when I was able to, first of all, acknowledge and identify the vision that I had in these different areas, I had to then begin to dissect them and begin to exactly find the connection. And then I realized, you know what, one might have to come first. After this one comes the other one. And like I mentioned, it's still under the same umbrella. So it's just like building blocks. You have to figure out which one goes first. It all starts with you in your drawing board, identifying this is what I want to do. How do I do it? Right now where I am, I think blogging is more accessible to me. So I will start with this. I mean, when I start getting my connection, I probably might then get the opportunity to intern for a fashion designer because I might be blogging about fashion, right? So you have to sit down, identify it, and then begin to figure out where the blog fits, really.
You said it all. That's basically what I wanted to say.
Just to add to what Ife said, when I'm sorry, I'm going to be talking more on what is real to me, and which is the scriptures. God created the sun, created the moon, created man, created this and that, everything to fit into one purpose. Now, I want you to understand that processes actually lead to programs and actually get to where you want to be. Now, you mentioned the fact that you want to be an honor personality, the best on earth, the best that has ever lived. That's wonderful, and it's a good thing to desire such thing. Are you prepared? What's your preparation process? Have you started working towards that future that you want to get to? You might become a virtual reality if you are just saying it to yourself that you want to become an honored personality, you want to become the greatest. At least you will be the honored personality before you become the greatest. So what are you doing at this moment to get you to where you want to be? Have you started going through courses? Have you gone to NBC? Have you taken anything? Or even take up a volunteer job or whatever as an intern in such organization? Because that's actually the process. If you want to go somewhere and you have a picture, I tell people if I want to get to Ikoyi, and Ikoyi is actually not, if I want to have a house in Ikoyi, Ikoyi is not just the destination. Me having a house in Ikoyi is what people will say physically, but that house is going to be a home to me, it's going to be a family, it's going to be this and that. So for me to have that thing, there are things I need to do, because I will need money. The same amount they're going to sell a house in Ikoyi is not the same amount they're going to sell it at Alcohol or Evida. So it's very important that you know all the things that is necessary for you to get to that future. And vision is not just about you cutting out one. If you have this picture now, you cut it and paste it on your wall to say, I've created a vision board, that's what I want to be. That's not what vision is about. It's not about you cutting out a picture from a magazine and aiming towards it. That's just virtual reality. You're not doing anything to work towards it. So most importantly, work towards it and build capacity. When you're prepared to achieve something, opportunity comes and then you use a see you're successful and people are asking, how did she get there? But you have actually been prepared. So work at preparation and opportunity will come.
Okay, so what I wanted to chip in is sometimes you need to ask yourself why. You know, the why sometimes will give you a clearer picture of where you should be heading. So I never quite thought radio specifically. I just said media and entertainment, TV and radio, newspaper, being a newspaper columnist, all of those things. But then I also found out that I was gravitating towards a why, and my why was I wanted to have a voice and sort of be a voice as well for women. So I found that a lot of the things I did sort of leaned towards that regardless of what I was doing. So even when I was change manager or HR manager or whatever, I found that a lot of the policies and procedures that I was championing were for women or related to women. Work-life balance, maternity leave, all of those things, how they can bring their kids to work so that they don't have a nanny, or how we can have a nanny in the building, all those things, I just found myself gravitating towards. Even when I wanted to go into media and entertainment, my first radio show was about women-related stuff. Even when I started writing, my characters were strong women who had a voice. So ask yourself, why do I want to be the biggest and the baddest OAB? What's your focus? And then sometimes it might not be one way to achieve that focus. You find that your vision is not just to be the OAB or the baddest OAB, but something else that the OAB leads to. So ask yourself, why?
Alrighty, I believe this is where we say goodbye to the ladies and the brothers. We've been speaking for a while. So thank you so much, lovely ladies of the day, and no final words. Yeah, no final words. You must say goodbye. Any words? Something with Ayana.
I'd like to thank you for this platform. I've had a great time today, and also in preparing. You know, that's another thing maybe that you know, a lot of people tend to evade: preparation. It's very important. It's very, see, this adulting thing is not easy, I tell you. You know, preparing to be at that position. And also in line with what Uwanma said, I remember, you know, that a couple of times I had friends, the late Tosi Bokno told me, oh, Jade, you'd be perfect for radio, because my real name is Chibola. You know, and then, you know, a couple of other people had also mentioned that you've got a strong voice. And I'm just thinking, the only voice I have really at the end of the day is to fight for rights, because they knew me at the office, everything, and oh, this feisty girl. Just give in to what she wants, because at the end of the day, she will harass you till they get it, whatever it is that they're fighting for. And I also found out that along the lines, you know, like, you know, when you have this thing in you, and you may not be able to clearly define it, you know, as it is. I started doing advocacy. This is like within 1,000, when we're living in 1,000, just a few ladies within 1,004 started doing advocacy for young sexual assault victims. It wasn't even a registered NGO or anything. It was just a group of us. When we had things, we'd actually take it upon ourselves to go and find out what was going on. In fact, we developed a fantastic relationship with the police force at Benin Cohen, which we still have till today. And we found that, you know, and then, you know, it just started, even though I'm female, obviously, and of course, it's my gender that would always come first in anything I'm trying to push. I just realized that, you know, for young people, that I have a thing for young people, for helping out, and for also, you know, just wanting to see them do so much better. I'm a firm believer in, you know, if I have people around me, they must be able to do as much as I do, and also so much better. Yes, so as we end it on the dish, you can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Ayana Bijou, that's AYANA BIJOUX, on Facebook at Ajibola Ayana. And let's have some really healthy conversations and realize this vision together.
I'm gonna say, due to my own experiences, whatever you want to do, make sure you have a passion for it and you love it. Because days will come when you're asking yourself, who really sent me to do this work? And then you remember that, but this is something I actually love, so I don't want to let go of it. So if it doesn't give you peace of mind, it doesn't give you joy, even when there's turmoil, don't do it. Some jobs I would have taken, but in my heart, like my heart was just beating fast, I was feeling anxious, and I let it go. Some jobs I tried to get, but I didn't get, I was angry, but then later on down the road, I realized, oh, that place was actually not meant for me, I let it go. So just move with the belief that anything that is for you, as long as you work for it, to come to you. The things that you don't get, you can be upset, but just say, you know what, it wasn't for me, move on, what's next? Always keep it moving, always remember why you started, and have fun with it. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KenOnline. It's my handle everywhere. Have an amazing day.
Okay, my final words before we leave this stage is, and I'll probably speak more to the young ladies in school uniform. There will be a lot of distractions. That boy you've got a crush on, subjects you hate that are just tearing you down, teachers you don't like, parents that don't really get you. But sometimes what you need to do is find someone, one person who will be your champion. Someone who believes in you and your vision, who will light that fire or relight that fire when it's sort of, when it's consuming or when it's dying down. Find that one person. It could be your mom, your dad, a friend, your best friend, a relative, a sister, or I don't know, just find one person, that one person who sort of keys into your vision, believes in you, and who would help you achieve your vision. Once you find that person, for me that person is my sister, because they have the people I told her I want to be having a radio talk show, and this is someone I looked up to, and she laughed and said, what do you want to say? What do you have to say? Why should people listen to you? Who are you that people should listen to? And I don't admire her anymore, but of course I didn't listen to her because my sister said to me, you have a voice. You have so many things you can say. You're smart, you're intelligent, you've spoken in front of people before, even though you were speaking as a teacher, but people would listen. You have things to say. So find out one person who will be your champion. And sometimes that champion will tell you, this is not what, this is not the way. Sometimes they will give you tough love. Listen to them. And then even as you're listening to them, make sure that their voice doesn't drown out your own inner voice. Okay? And you can find me across all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Uwanma. Means Uwanma. Uwanma is spelled U-W-A-N-N-E.
Finally, like I'm going to take it from where a woman stops. That was one person. I remember in 2016, that one person actually came into my life, and his name is Ayana. A lot of times when I actually have thought, oh, I've given my best shot, I've done the best, I have achieved this, I have done that, the man promised me. He strips every commendation I've given myself and strips everything and give very constructive criticism. And one thing you need to notice is that a lot of times when people give you constructive feedback, they have your best interest at heart. And the moment I found his heart, which is very important, noticing that heart is actually saying those things not from the part of just wanting to insult me. Or a hater, thank you. Because he was saying it from the heart of truth. He was saying it because he wanted it to be better. And since that time, there is no there for me, actually. Because I keep pushing. When I get to where I think I've gotten to, I move away because I know that I didn't come and pull my head and say, oh, we thought you did well in that way. No, you should have done this better, you should have done that better. And that's a relationship that really blessed me. Secondly, I want us to know that you need also to have a self-esteem. It's very important for you. It's very, very important for every one of us. I say this to myself that a man without a vision is a man without a future. And a man without a future is a man that can go back to his past. So if you have a future in mind that you want to get to, it's very, very, very easy for you to continue with that vision that you're running with, that is already plain to you. Run with it. Bring on relationships that are important, not high maintenance relationships. Please, let's watch it. Because there are some high maintenance relationships that you just need to let go of on your path to success. But important relationships that will add value to your life. If you're a student, look at those your friends, those kids, because out of 5 people that are your friends, you'll be an average of those 5 people. So watch the people you move with. And that cuts across everybody. Thank you.
Alright. Alright, thank you very much, ladies.